Welcome back to Man vs. Phil. David Farrier decided to start up his documentary called Tickled when he stumbled across this videos for competitive tickling, which basically involved a young guy being tied down somewhere while a group of other guys tickled him. Yeah, that's apparently a thing, and it looks as ridiculous as you think it is going to. So, being a journalist and finding something unique that hadn't really been highlighted and something that he found particularly funny, he rattled off an email to the person that sort of ran this competitive tickling sport, could you call it that? And what he got back was something that he wasn't quite expecting. It was a threatening email. Someone that insulted him, threatened him to stay away, and pretty much said that they were going to sue him into oblivion if he continued to dig into this. Now, he was only sending an email asking if he could get an interview. And being a journalist, the fact that he got something so vicious and vitriol back just kind of made him curious as to what was going on here. And he starts down a rabbit hole that unveils something that just he wasn't expecting, I wasn't expecting, but was truly compelling. I'm going to let you know just now, I'm going to spoil aspects of Tickled. I think it's best watched knowing pretty much nothing about it. That's the way I went into it, and that's the way I suggest you go into it. So you know what, just if you want to go away and watch it and come back later on, that's completely fine. You know, I can wait on you. Okay. So basically what David discovers is this history of someone abusing people, but not in the way you would expect. People who did these tickling videos, who didn't want them on the internet, who didn't give permission for their faces or identities to be put on the internet, found themselves under a campaign of hatred. They would have videos uploaded to every video site going tagged with their name, so when people searched for their name, it was the first thing that popped up. They were the people behind these videos were contacting their employers or the people in the videos and telling them what they were up to, and that they should check them out, and that they're sexual predators, sexual deviants, and people were losing their jobs over this. It seemed to be like victimisation and a campaign of hatred against these people. Now, as David searches into this, he discovers that it all comes down to one person. All these fake identities, all these companies lead back to one person who's behind all of this. And it is a great mystery documentary. It is great the way it leads you down this hole, and it shows you things about a person that is absolutely disgraceful that somebody acted this way. But ultimately, it's something that needs to be highlighted, and it is something that's highlighted in here. So what starts off as a kind of fun, competitive tickling documentary that you can't really believe evolves into something more about somebody's obsession and kink. I thought David did a terrific job of highlighting the various information. The people that he interviewed who had contact with this person were excellent as well, and kind of shocked to understand the extent of what was going on in here. And ultimately, I think it's good that this was highlighted, but the conclusion at the end didn't really stop anything. I think he's still doing what he did, this guy. But ultimately, it's a terrific watch. It's compelling. It takes you by surprise to start off with, and then slowly pushes you down the rabbit hole into something that you were not expecting. I gave Tickled 4 out of 5. I thought it was a really interesting watch, one that I couldn't look away for. I didn't know where it was going, and I was desperate to see the next stage of it. Have you seen Tickled? Did you like it? Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs. Phil.